Good morning, everyone. We are going to start chapter 4 today, and I've got the agenda up on the board. You will also find the agenda on our Moodle, on our geometry Moodle, but I'll just point out that our chapter today is going to start the chapter on discovering and proving triangle properties. Now, we've looked at triangles through the first few units. We're going to focus exclusively on them in this unit. And I'm going to walk through some notes with you today. Typically, we would have a little bit of investigation that we would be doing in class, but since I am gone, we are going to be going through and guiding you through these notes. So bear with me. About halfway through, we're going to stop and do something different for a moment and then come back and finish the notes. Homework for next time is page 201 and page 206 with the problems listed, and you'll have a handout for that as well. Looking ahead to this unit, then, we have a unit called Discovering and Proving Triangle Properties, as I mentioned. Today we're going to cover the first two sections. So 4.1 is on the Triangle Sub Conjecture, and 4.2 is on properties of special triangles. We're going to start off with discovering and proving the triangle properties related to the triangle angle sum. Now, this is a property that many of you guys kind of already know, but we're just going to make sure we've got this. So if we think about the types of proofs that we have talked about back in previous units, there's an inductive way of proving based on more of the patterns and recognizing those patterns and coming up with a conclusion based on those generalizing those patterns. And then there is a more of a deductive approach, which goes through and proves the property by listing agreed upon facts and properties. The first method right here for the triangle sum is more of an inductive approach. So if you can imagine, we would be cutting out a triangle, whatever triangle you wanted, and then we would tear off each one of the angles in the triangle and then kind of jigsaw them together. You can see that the jigsawing these three angles together, so let's call this angle 1, this angle 2, and this angle 3. We then put them over on the side here and kind of jigsawed those together. What would happen with the three angle measures? As you guys probably suspected or knew, those three angle measures would form a straight line. So it's kind of like a linear group of three angles, and therefore all three of those angles together would be supplementary. All three of those angles would add up to 180 degrees. So what do we notice about that? We notice that the three angles sum up to 180 degrees. Whatever each of them are, all together, they add up to 180 degrees. So I'm not going to go through and actually measure out each angle, but we can see that on the line there, since a line is also known as a straight angle, then we know that those three would sum up to 180 degrees. So on the bottom of our page here is our first property / conjecture of chapter 4, and that is the triangle sum conjecture, which, like I said, many of you guys kind of already knew, but we just showed that inductively. And if you can imagine, if we were doing that as a class, we all had our individual triangles, we would all come to that same conclusion. And that is that the three angles of a triangle sum to 180 degrees. So if we have three angles of a triangle, then they sum to 180 degrees. You can sketch out the diagram over on the side. Just sketch out a triangle, label its angles 1, 2, and 3, and we're saying angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 sums up to 180 degrees. I'll give you just a few more seconds to write that down if you have not already. Once you have that written down, then we are going to flip to the second page and talk a little bit more about a deductive way of showing that the three angles add up to 180 degrees. So we're bringing back the idea of logic again in this unit. We talked about it in chapter 2. We did a few proofs. We're going to do a few more proofs in chapter 4 here related to our work in triangles. So you're going to get used to seeing those in this unit as well.